I'm a pretty big fan of Yuri animes. I read the genre even before I knew what the word Yuri meant. To the people who don't know, Yuri is a genre typically found in Japanese media that focuses on the intimate relationship between two or more women. This genre is also known as girls' love, or GL for short, usually used in manhwas. I've noticed that Yuri is not that much of a popular genre of anime, manga, and other pieces of media, so I try to appreciate the few good ones. Especially the fact that authors tend to use Yuri bait to make their mangas more popular, which is kinda weird to be honest, but that is something that I would want to talk about in a separate video. For this video, I will be talking about one of the most popular Yuri animes out there named Citrus. So why don't we get right into it? Hello everyone, let's talk about Citrus. Citrus is an anime revolved around two girls. The main character, Yuzu Aihara, a girl who transferred to a new school after her mother remarried, and her oldest stepsister and the school's council president, Mei Aihara. Yuzu, with the help of her best friend Harumi Taniguchi, tries to go through high school trying to find a boyfriend, only to realize she's been transferred to an all-girls school, and that maybe she's not that much into guys. Now, just based on that small synopsis of the story, you probably realize that there are a lot more characters, like Himeko Momokino, the student council vice president, Kayo Maruta, another member of the student council, and there's a lot more characters in the manga. There's so many love interests for Yuzu with so many different tropes and so many different directions this story could have taken. Guess who's actually the love interest? Spoiler alert! It's the stepsister. This was one of my first animes ever. Was one of my favorites too. In fact, I liked it so much, I finished the manga as well. In my defense, I was only 13 years old. I didn't know any better. The only reason I'm admitting this is to show a perspective of someone who actually used to enjoy this anime. So, what are my thoughts of this anime really? It sucks, generally. Not because it's a story about two stepsisters getting into a romantic relationship with each other, not even mentioning the actual blood related sisters, where one of them basically confessed their love for the other. Or was it cousins? I don't know, can't remember. It's the fact that it's weirdly well written. Now, I can't remember much details of the actual story itself, including the manga, because it's been like years since I actually read it. But I remember how the story hooked me on to actually read and finish the manga. Don't get me wrong, I don't like this manga at all. I'm saying that it's so weirdly well written in a way that I can't fully hate it. I may be remembering this wrong, but I'm not gonna torture myself by reading this manga again just to prove a point. I think one of the reasons why I can't fully hate it is because of the fact that it really was my favorite anime. I guess it's the nostalgia to blame. Maybe because I like the type of dynamic of those two. I do like the dynamic of the cheerful girl with the emo. Maybe because they meet before knowing that they're gonna be step siblings. Maybe because they became step siblings at a later age. But the thing is about the last parts. They met each other in a very brief moment. The moment was so brief that the only reason Yuzu actually remembered her was because Mei literally groped her for a phone that wasn't allowed in the school. And any normal person would feel weirded out that they have romantic feelings for their step siblings. I would, and I don't even have any step siblings. There's also the fact that there is a lot of stuff in this anime they did that doesn't make sense for the author to make them related to each other. One of the first things they show us is Mei and Yuzu needing to share a bedroom for whatever reason, and later on in the anime, they share one bed. You know, the classic, there's two of us but there's only one bed type trope. But they didn't need for them to make these two related. They could have made it so that the school has a dormitory or something. Yuzu's grandfather is literally the chairman of the school. There was this moment in the anime between Yuzu and the chairman where she was basically loudly announcing to everyone that she and the chairman are now related. And both Mei and her grandfather wasn't pleased by her behavior. Maybe they could have made it so that the chairman made a decision to make a dormitory. Maybe teasing it in the first or second episode, and midway through the season, it's revealed that both Mei and Yuzu are now being forced to be dormmates. And to add a little spice, make it so that the chairman ordered Mei to keep an eye on Yuzu or something. It's much better than making them related. If I'm being genuine here, if you ignore the fact that they're step-siblings, this could have been a good manga tackling on the life of two girls discovering about their different sexualities and falling in love with each other, whilst also facing challenges along the way. There's literally a part in the manga where Yuzu found out that Mei has been hiding the fact that she's going to be married off to a guy that Yuzu actually knows, purely because she's related to the chairman. Apparently this guy is powerful or something. And Yuzu literally ran to the place where the two was having a meeting about the marriage to try and stop Mei from being married off. And in the end, they got married. By they got married, I mean Mei and Yuzu got married, not Mei getting married off. And right before this part, Yuzu had a discussion with both her parents about her relationship with Mei. They could have made it so that this conversation is about a girl coming out to her parents, like how many people had to come out to their parents, making this moment much more relatable for the people who decided to read the manga. There's also a part in the anime where Yuzu found out that Mei was making out with one of the teachers of the school and realizing that Mei was going to be married off to that teacher. And the teacher was being a complete weirdo and wanting to use this marriage as a way to gain power and wealth, I think. So what did Yuzu do? She literally announced in front of the whole school how much of a weirdo the guy is, prompting him to get fired. Just want to add on that this is also a good example of Yuzu's character, showing the audience that she is willing to embarrass herself in front of the whole school just to protect someone else that she barely knows at that. Like, they could have done so much, but they had to just ruin it by making them related. I know it's just from marriage, but it's still weird. Before I say my conclusion, I just want to thank you for 56 subs. If you did enjoy this video, I would be very grateful if you decide to subscribe to me. I'm also starting to stream on Twitch if you are interested, but I only own an office laptop, so the only games I am able to play are games that isn't that high end. So no Marvel Rivals, unfortunately. Anyways, back to the video. My conclusion. This whole video was just me ranting about how stupid the author was for making Yuzu and Mei related for no apparent reason. And there's a lot more controversial stuff the author decided to put in the story, one of which was Mei touching Yuzu in very inappropriate ways without her consent. And this wasn't a one-time thing, by the way. It was multiple times. I'm sure there's some sort of symbol behind it that I don't see purely because I refuse to rewatch this show. I don't really recommend watching this anime if your frontal lobe hasn't developed yet. And if you do decide to watch it or read this story, just know this anime genuinely made me have mixed feelings for it. We've hit 50 subs. I actually never thought I would get subscribers in the first place, so thanks to the people who did sub to the channel. I finally graduated high school, so I have more time to make videos before I decide to get a job for money, which is around a month from now because I just want to take a break from the whole 12 years of going to school. That's literally all I have to say for this end credits. That being said, goodbye, everyone.